Roads in Country Garden Community in Beilatai Town, Jinan District, Tianjin suddenly cracked and sank. Several thousand residents in the vicinity were urgently requested to evacuate in the middle of the night. Evacuated homeowners exclaimed, "It's too terrifying. It's too horrifying." Witnesses reported that the sound when the road cracked sounded like an explosion. On the evening of May 31, the ground of Beilatai Road, near the east gate of Country Garden in Beilatai Town, Jinan District, Tianjin, experienced wave-like bulges and expanding cracks. Cracks and sinking also appeared in nearby high-rise residential buildings. News of partial evacuations began circulating online. Mr. Wang, pseudonym, who resides in the Fengjinding courtyard of Country Garden, told Red Star News that on the afternoon of May 31, he heard that a section of the road outside the community, Beilatai East Road, had lifted up, and then the road was closed off. Later, he discovered cracks in the residential building where he lives. Around 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, the cracked buildings in the community were also cordoned off. He mentioned that more than 10 buildings in Fengjinding courtyard of Country Garden were affected, and currently, buildings numbered 37 to 52 have been marked with caution lines, and most of them are high-rise structures. Mr. Wang stated that in the early morning of June 1, around 3 o'clock, residents of the affected residential buildings in the community were asked to evacuate. Many residents were affected, and currently, they are dispersed and staying in several hotels near the community. According to a report from China National Radio, some citizens reflected that on June 1, in the early morning, residents of certain buildings in Fengjinding Courtyard, Country Garden, Beilatai Town, Jinan District, Tianjin, were knocked on their doors by community staff and urgently asked to evacuate. On June 2, a video on overseas social media platform Twitter showed a Tianjin resident involved in the incident saying, "It's terrifying. It's horrifying." A massive evacuation was conducted at 2:30 a.m. People were banging on doors. All residents from Building 37 to Building 52 and Fengjinding Courtyard, Country Garden were urgently evacuated. There are over 100 households in one building, 4 units per floor, 26 floors high. The homeowners group is in chaos, and everyone is anxious. Many homeowners didn't bring their valuable belongings when evacuating. Everyone is afraid of building collapse because the ground is cracked, and there is seepage underground. According to GMO News, Mr. Lee, a homeowner residing in Building 38 of the community, described that around 6 o'clock in the evening on May 31, some people heard a loud bang sound on the street, similar to an explosion, and the road exploded. After hearing the sound, someone noticed that a geothermal well tower located a few hundred meters outside the east gate of the community had collapsed. This news quickly spread among homeowners in the community. During the evening of May 31 to the early morning of June 1, residents of affected residential buildings, including Building 38 where Mr. Lee resides, as well as Buildings 37 and 39, were instructed to evacuate quickly. The report states that nearly 3,000 households were evacuated overnight. On the afternoon of June 1, at the scene of the Fengjinding Courtyard and Country Garden, numerous vehicles such as fire trucks, cranes, and excavators could be seen parked along the sides of the road. Walking south along Beilatai East Road, not far from the east gate of the Country Garden community, noticeable wave-like bulges and cracks could be observed on the ground. Buildings 37 and 38, high-rise, within the community were already surrounded by blue iron sheets. Following the path along the iron sheets, there was an unclosed road where one could clearly see the cracked conditions of the floors of Buildings 37, 38, and 39. From the exterior, Building 39 appeared to be in the most severe condition. The bottom of the west side of the building was exposed, revealing bricks and visible drainage pipes. Furthermore, there were cracks in the grassy area with the largest estimated diameter of about 40 centimeters. On June 1 at noon, the Jinan district government reported that at 18:20 on May 31, it was discovered that a section of the road on Beilatai East Road in Beilatai Town, Jinan district, had bulged and cracked. In addition, there were cracks in the grassy areas and some underground parking lots of the Fengjinding Courtyard and Country Garden, as well as wall cracks and seepage. Red Star News reported that according to residents of the community, the cause of the bulging and cracking of a section of Beilatai East Road and the cracking of the grassy areas in Fengjinding Courtyard, Country Garden, as well as the appearance of wall cracks and seepage in some underground parking lots, was attributed to the construction of a geothermal well across the road. Mr. Wang explained that the construction area across the road was fenced off, and the specific work being carried out and the construction methods were not visible from the outside. The construction had been ongoing for some time. In response to this, officials from the Beilintai town government, where the incident occurred, confirmed that there was construction taking place near the site. The construction of the geothermal well had started more than 10 days ago, and the problems appeared recently. The ground had already started to crack in the afternoon of May 31st. Regarding this matter, the Emergency Management Bureau, the District Housing and Construction Commission, and the District Urban Management Committee of Jinan District in Tianjin did not accept interviews with domestic media.